Hello from Cardiff, the morning after Chelsea reached the last four of the Carabao Cup. As Enzo Maresca will tell you, the third semi-final they've reached in the last 18 months under him. I'm Jack Ross, one of the Chelsea reporters at The Sun, and I'm joined by Dan King, our Chelsea correspondent.
Having had our breakfast at the charming Wyndham cafeteria, you see, a full Wyndham, and now we're ready to digest last night's game.
Which was more hassle than was necessary, I think, from a Chelsea perspective, wasn't it?
I think, in many ways, I think it tells a bit of a story of Chelsea's season. That you look at the first 11, and you know from the games, and as Maresca tells us, when he picks his first 11 against the big teams, they do well. They deliver some good performances against Barcelona, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, etc. But in games like this, where he rests 11. The entire starting 11. He ends up having to send on the cavalry to get through,
to rescue it. And he was still. I mean, at half time, you thought, what's already been a busy week with everything. He's sort of the cryptic dig he's had at the ownership and everything like that. At half time, when they've been under it from Cardiff have looked the better team for the first half. Chelsea have managed to escape without conceding, but looking well off it. Maresca must have been thinking, well, this week I've put all this pressure on myself by saying what I've said and not backing down from it, and it's about to get a whole lot worse. And although they got away with it in the end, it was really hairy until late on, Cardiff equalising and then threatening again after they equalised to maybe go on and get a winner before Neto and Garnacho scored. A good evening objectively for Maresca and Chelsea, but
you wouldn't know if you're speaking. You wouldn't know if you're speaking to.
He came into the press conference and was still very sour and chippy.
Yeah, as if they'd lost.
Yeah, definitely. Even one of the reporters even had to say,
give us a smile, cheer up,
you
might never
very
happen.
Happy. Which I guess sort of they have got through to the last four. They're into another semi-final. He keeps talking about this record.
Two more games to play.
2 more games to play, which is a big problem for them at the moment. Maybe that's why he's so down. But his demeanour after the game last night doesn't really shift this feeling of what's actually going on, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. And I think last night's game was one they were expected to win. League One team, albeit one at the top of League One. You've got to be seeing those off and then getting into the last four, and then we'll see who gets through and what the draw is, and that's going to be a serious game. Yeah, not that it wasn't a serious game last night, but it's going to be a serious game against top opposition for.
Well, you can't make 11 changes.
No, you can't. You can't make 11 changes because it's a semi-final, and as we've covered before, Mourinho was used to say, winning the first trophy that's available of a season sets the tone, and it's not just Chelsea who've done that. In the past, the great Liverpool teams used to do that as well. So it's a useful mark, and once you get to the semi-final stage, across two legs, probably playing another top 6, top 8 side, that's when you're going to find out. But I think before we even get to that, whether it's going to be a happy new year for a happier new year for Enzo Maresca is the next 3 games. The next 3 games are challenging and they are big. It's Newcastle before Christmas, and then in quick succession at home it is Aston Villa, who are doing fantastically well, and Bournemouth, who
seem to have come alive again.
Who are capable of giving anyone a game. So I think I'm not sure he'll be dancing into New Year.
No, you've now got to go through those games. Cole Palmer, we knew wasn't going to be in the squad last night. He can't play 3 games in a week. They've got 3 games in 10 days over Christmas. Can he be involved in all of them? We don't know. Esteval now, we know, is going to miss Newcastle with a muscle injury. He wasn't in the squad at Cardiff. We don't know whether he's going to be available for Villa or Bournemouth. Maresca doesn't know. So, albeit he's not been starting a lot of games at the moment, Esteval, he is the one that, if it's not quite going their way, he can come on and lift the entire mood at Stamford Bridge merely by walking on.
But let's be positive, Jack. Let's be positive, Jack, about last night's game. And as you said, the substitutions, and Maresca has been criticised for his substitutions at times, not least against Atalanta, where they ended up losing the game. Last night they worked. The players he brought on, he used his full complement of subs in the end, but the double change at half time definitely changed the momentum of the game.
Pedro was fantastic. Garnacho obviously comes in with 2 goals as well, well taken goals. The steady steps he's making to become someone that's more trusted. And Maresca did say this is a team that's not played together before. Yeah. He name-checked Mark Jew and Tyreek George as we don't think they're going to be able to do too much. They've not played loads. We were expecting a difficult first half, and then we make the changes, and he took those 2 youngsters off at half-time. There could have been a lot more that he took off. Buonanotte was anonymous in the first half. Hato Achiampong had an absolute nightmare up against Isaac Davies. raced past him a couple of times. There are a number of players that could have come off. Once he put those more established players in, Chelsea didn't look comfortable. They were far from that. It was a struggle at times. They switched off at times. But the level did raise, and there were players there that you could actually trust to go and deliver something, and they did.
No, and the attacking players he brought on all did produce something. So obviously Garnacho scores 2 goals, and that'll do his confidence good. It's still only 4 goals in 17 appearances for Chelsea, and obviously half of those are in the Carabao Cup against Cardiff. So let's not get too excited. But I think it will be a confidence boost for him, and certainly if you're looking at his personal battle again, Jamie Gittins.
He was poor,
didn't do enough to make that position his own. He was switched. He was lucky to stay on Gittins, and he was switched to the right wing for the second half, and looked a little bit more of a threat, but that wasn't saying much. And I think that if Garnacho is fit, and I think he will probably feel that he deserves a run of starts in that. Definitely, he's 21 years old. He can probably cope. And over these next. Don't forget, in fact, we mentioned the next 3 Premier League games. The one after that is Man City away. So it's those 4 games which are really going to tell us whether this is a mid-season blip for Chelsea or a grump for Maresca, and everything's going to be fine or not. I think the other thing you mentioned, Pedro, and I think he was important. He seemed to be struggling a bit when he first came on, but as the second half wore on, you started to see glimpses of the player we know he is.
The link-up play that he can bring. He managed to do it. He played the ball to Santos, who played in Pedro, and obviously played in Garnacho for the third as well, with a nice ball over the top. Again, we talk about these are young players that need confidence, and just small things like that, regardless of the opposition. That's going to help them in the long run to get through games like this. Maresca, it's something he spoke about at Lincoln, that I don't think you can put Pedro and Garnacho into this category, but there are players like Achimpong, Hato, Mark G that haven't been in these situations before, haven't gone to a League One, League Two side and had to scrap it out in a cup competition, and it's a big learning curve for them. And I think this is something as well. The rotation has been a huge point all the way through the season. Maresca is chippy and joking about it at different times, depending on what sort of mood he's in. But you're going to get these games when you're making that many changes. There are going to be moments when it really drops off, and he's clearly aware of that from what he said last night in the moments where he wasn't just glaring down the camera. And I think he's got more excuse than any manager to be making all these changes. The truncated pre-season they had, the enormous summer they had. The injuries they're dealing with
to key players, as well. This is why he feels underappreciated. I hope his family have got him lots of nice presents for Christmas to make him feel
lift his spirits.
To lift his spirits. I don't know. Although, as I say, when he was being sort of grumpy last night, he said, "Well, it's time for the players to be happy about a victory." But I'm going to watch 2 Newcastle games on my way back.
I've got a 3-hour journey back to Cobham. I'm going to be sat there watching Newcastle. So.
Which as some fans of Newcastle will tell you, certainly from their point of view, has not been a lot of fun at times, especially not at the weekend. But I think the long and the short of it is they are 2 games away from a Wembley final and a chance to lift another trophy.